Hi, so this is a video on how to complete assessment 2 for research methods. Okay, so on the Canvas site, on the research methods Canvas site, scroll down and you need to click on assessment 2 quantitative research report. This then brings up two things. It brings up your actual assessment that you're going to do. So you will need to download that. Okay, so we've got that there, and also you need to then bring up the data. Okay, so we'll just go back in there. So you've got the data here, so if you just download that, it gets up in an Excel document. Okay, so as you see there, you've got your two sets of data. You've got your VO2 max for sports performance, and you've got your bowling performance based on limb length. Okay, so the first thing you've got to do is you've got to clean the data. Okay, so that just basically means removing any data that doesn't make any sense, so the blank lines, etc. So if we look on here, I'll give an example there. There's some data there. So literally, you would just delete that data out. Okay, because we've got no. They've measured the limb length, but they haven't actually done any bowling speed. Same on this one. If there's any data that's missing, just delete the column, the row, and then we're good to go from there. Okay. So the second part of that, or the next part, is we need to complete some statistical analysis. Okay. So this is how to do it. Okay, so first of all, we need to actually get the package onto the computer on Excel, because it doesn't automatically come in. So we need to click on File, and then scroll down to the bottom where it says Options. It then brings up this little table here. Now if you click on Add-ins, okay, and it's already highlighted, we need the Analysis tool pack. And then you need to click on Go, don't just go straight OK. So click on Go. And then just tick the top two, the tool pack, the two toolbar ones, and click OK. All right. And then what we'll find is when we go into data, all right, on the right hand side we'll have this analysis, data analysis on there. Okay. So we need to click on that and bring that up. So the two tests we're going to do, okay, we need to do a test of VO2 max before and after test. So the test we're going to use there is the paired sample t-test. So what we need to do there, okay, so we've got this up here, we need to look for the paired sample t-test. Okay, and we've got it up there, so it's the t-test paired two samples for means. So if you click on that and then press OK. It then brings up the ranges. Now what we need to do, we're looking at before and after. Okay, so for instance, if we're doing, let's move over there. Yeah, if we're doing this one, so we highlight that whole column. That's including the data that we've got rid of. Okay, it goes all the way down. And then we need to click on that one, and we then need to highlight the other column. There we go. Tick that we want some labels because we're going to add them in, and then press OK. Right, and then what will happen on the next page over, so it'll give you another sheet, it'll give you the actual results. And if you just double click on there, it makes it so it's nicely spaced out. Right, so if we look on there, the one we need to look at is the this like significance, okay, which is this p-value here. Okay, the mean is here, so the mean is 43.9 and 45.2. So if we go back in there, what you can do is put in the headings. Okay, you can actually do this if you highlight everything, but we'll put in the headings in there, and then just tab that. There we go. So we've got the actual headings in there. We can talk about that. So before creatine, it's slightly lower than after creatine, But when we look at the significance of the actual test, which is a very important one, it's 0.3, which means it's proven to be insignificant because it's higher than 0.05, which is what it's got to be. Okay, so now for the next test. Okay, so again, we go into data, click on analysis. Okay, and we need to do a Pearson's correlation for this one because we're looking for a link between limb length and bowling speed. Okay, so we need to find that on there, and it is a correlation there. And you click OK. Now we just need to put in both of these. Okay, so if we highlight both columns, okay, we tick to include the data labels. Okay, and press OK. And again, if we just do that, it gives you a Pearson's correlation of 0.6998. The higher it is towards 1, the better. Okay, so what we can say to this is it is quite high, but it's not obviously, it's not as close to 1 as what we want. So we can say there's some degree of correlation between limb length and bowling speed, but it's not the ultimate thing. I think you can possibly talk about, well, muscle mass and other things like that. Okay, so next we need to look at what the age distribution of the two sets of data are. So if we go back on there, okay, we need to just go on the home button there. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at just literally the age of each one of them. Okay, so if we click on insert, okay, and we need to get sort of a certain graph. So first of all, we're going to look at age. Okay, so if you just highlight the column of age, like that, and then we're going to go into this one, it's a middle one there. We're going to click on the histogram. Okay, we're going to click on that, the first histogram there, because it gives you a good distribution. Okay, and if we click on there, okay, we've got an age, so it's basically separated them into age ranges, okay, and stated how many. Okay, add your title in there, and then you need to just talk a little bit about the age range within them. You do that obviously for both of them. So the final thing you've got to do is you've got to display your results in a visual format. Okay, so what you're going to do, so for instance, we'll get this one up where we've compared the paired sample t-test. And what we're going to look at, we're going to look at the difference between the mean averages. Okay, so you're going to highlight that. Again, if you go to the insert, and you're going to look at maybe a pie chart in this one. Okay, so you can maybe do any type of pie chart. Okay, again, put your title on, and then we've got before creatine, after creatine. It gives you a visual understanding. And then you obviously what you'd do is you'd write up underneath what it means. Okay, so underneath you'd be talking about the mean average, which what it states there, and you'd also talk about the P scale. Okay, the P score, sorry, and that it isn't significant. Okay, so we would do that for both of these. Okay, you don't need to put a graph for that. We'll just state that. Okay. So all that's left to do now we've done everything, is make sure that everything's on a Word document, nice and neat, with the title of what the unit is, module is rather, and present your data. Okay, so present your data with the graphs, a little explanation of what they are underneath, and hopefully that will be it. Okay, thanks now, bye.